Now this card, this next card here, is a pop out and it's a toolbox. Fabulous card, simple to make and looks spectacular. Great for all occasions, reminders for the boys and the girls to do a bit of DIY around the house maybe. Okay, so we've got a number of elements here and we're going to start with the actual toolbox itself. It really is just two parts and very simple, and they pull up. The first thing I'm going to do is just line this one up here. That will line up against the crease, and I'm just going to pop some glue onto that because that just sticks down and acts as the backdrop. The lid itself is just free to move. If you've done the fishing one, it's not unlike the tackle box there really. Okay, so that just lines up with the crease in there. You may want to just check by moving that so that it's free to move. That bit goes down and that becomes our lid there, and that's just free to move. You can stick it down if you want to. I just leave it flapping like that. It tends to find its own position and works really well. Okay, the next thing to do is to stick this part down, and we've got a couple of lines here. One is where the tool pop-up goes, and the line furthest down here is where the base of our toolbox goes. Now because we've got the back on there, we can just line this up. Incidentally, that line, the fold line, should line up with the center line as well. All being well, this will just come down. I'm just going to move that into position so it's level there, and it is. Just come down onto that line and push down. I just fold that back. You can see that's just the tab there that I've glued. And now as we pull the toolbox back, you can see we've got the other tab here, and that will just fit along the line on the top there, like so. So I'm just going to line that up there. Now this is all lying flat at the moment, and I find it's a much easier way of making this card. And there we go. So that's our toolbox there. Let's just put a little bit of pressure onto that to get it to stick. Because it's going the opposite way, it's sort of groaning slightly, and there we go. Push it down, rub it, and as we open and close it, we've got our toolbox, like so. Fantastic, nice and simple, looks really effective, but we can go even better now and pop the tools in. So they're here, you can see that they're again on a tab, and we've got the lift mechanism here as well. So what I'm going to do is just glue the tab for the tools here. This is the pop-up mechanism. Before I pop it on there, I'm just going to line this up along the back here. And I've got the lift mechanism here, as you can see, and I've just stuck that onto the back. If you want to, that can just line up with the base, or you can just do it by eye so it's perpendicular there. And I'm putting this on now because it's going to be much easier than trying to slot it in otherwise. So if we just pop that through there, you'll see the white line, and just line that all up with the glue. If I move that forward, you should be able to see that. So that's in there, that lines up with that, and what I'm going to do is just fold this tab back and just push the whole thing back just so that that will now stick as it lies flat there, like so. And then as it comes up, it's going to pull the tools forward for us. And now as we open up, the tools come forward with it as well, like so. The next thing to do is just to think about sort of what I call dressing this, and we can put various objects down if you want to. Now some can lean against the side of the box like that. Now if you want to, we could add a drill behind. I'm going to show you a little technique here. See the tab just at the back? I'm going to get my scissors in there so you can see it, and just put a snip line into there about halfway along, like so. And what I can do now is I've got my drill here with a little tab on it, which I've glued. I can just slot that in. You just want to make sure you're obviously beyond the handle bit there. I need to make that, I think, perhaps just a little bit steeper. So I'm going to just, whoops, cut that a little bit more, like so. If I can show you here, what I'm going to do is just feed the drill in behind here like that, pop it down, just stick the foot really wherever it wants to go down there, The beauty of this is that it's not that critical, and this will just pull up, that will just pull up the mechanism there, as you can see it. So now as we open the card, the drill just actually moves a little bit as well as we come up, which adds a little bit more dynamics to the toolbox. So that's another little technique there. So we just snip the line in if you want to put it in there. In fact, on your one there'll probably be a little white line for you just to see where to cut it as well. But here is the finished card, and I've just gone on and put a few little extra elements on there. Just to run through, I've put the saw here on foam pads just to lift it up. I've cut the end out of the spanner. And if I can just show you here, I've had a spare wrench, so what I've done is just cut the box in there, just folded the back of the wrench, the end part, and just slotted that into the slot there, just to give me a little bit more action on my card. And now as we open it up, we get this really fantastic card, multi-layered and depth on it. What can I say? You know, it really is. You can tell obviously from my enthusiasm, I really like this one. I just think it's just great. The wow factor is just unbelievable. You know, open that up, boom. It's just like almost having a toolbox given to you. Okie dokie. So I'll leave it up to you now to have a go and make this card.